Hey techies, welcome or welcome back to kaetalkstech. So today I want to talk to you about skills, right? So with the job market being so highly competitive and new unemployed people being added to that market every day, and then being pressures internationally for these same American jobs, what can you do to make sure you're the one? Well, I had mentioned SQL to you before. And I want to expand on that. So what is SQL? SQL, for those of you who don't know, SQL is structured query language, and it is the commands that you use to get data that you want to see out of the database. It's a computer, so you got to talk to it in a special way, and SQL is a special way, right? Just like you give a dog command, sit, stand, whatever, SQL has commands you give to the database, and you have to learn what those commands are. Now, most people only need one command, and that's the select command. Select means choose this data. And then you tell it what data you want to choose, and you tell it a path that you want it to take through that data, and any filtering criteria, any sorting criteria. So it's one command, but it has a lot of parts. You must learn SQL if you have not already. It doesn't matter if you're a developer, a data analyst, or a project manager, because gone are the days where somebody wants to hire someone that they have to then get a second person to get them the information that they need. They want you to be able to go out to the database and get that data yourself. You might need to know PL SQL as well, which is an extension of SQL. So SQL is a base language. It's kind of like English, and English has different versions, but it's all got a common language, and then you have different versions that mean different things. So you'll have American English. You have English from the UK. You have Australian English. So it's kind of like that conceptually. So SQL has different extensions. That's what they call them, extensions, that other companies have added to give you the ability to do certain functions against data in their databases. So, for instance, Oracle has PL SQL. So if you have an Oracle database, they've extended SQL with something they call PL SQL, and there's additional commands that you can use to manipulate the data in an Oracle database, or manipulate. That's a good word. Same thing with SQL Server, which is from Microsoft. Right, so they have T-SQL, which is also known as Transact SQL. So that allows you to do certain things that regular ANSI SQL, regular SQL is called ANSI, ANSI SQL, but nobody really calls it that anymore. Don't use that term, you'll be dating yourself, but it's just SQL. Regular SQL is extended by T-SQL. And there are other companies that have done the same. So if you know regular SQL, you'll be okay if you're not in a coding position. So sometimes if you're a technical business analyst or a business systems analyst, or somebody who's on the more technical side, data analysts are expected to know all of these, developers are expected to know, and BAs are expected to know. But if you're a project manager or a product owner, well, actually product owner is probably expected to know it too. But if you're something that's, let's say, not as close to the data as these other roles, because these other roles would be working in the data constantly. Project managers are managing the project. Product managers are managing the product. So they're somewhat removed from the data to an extent. So regular SQL or ANSI SQL would be good. But if you're one of those others, it probably pays to learn some of those SQL extensions, okay? But at a bare minimum, you need to know SQL. So, for instance, I knew a guy who self-taught himself to be a developer through WordPress, and he showed his resume to somebody, or he went on an interview, and the person was really impressed. But they said, you know, the one thing you don't have is SQL. So now you're a developer, you're coding, but how are you going to get the data? And how are you going to make sure the data is good? You need SQL because everybody's got some kind of database now. So I don't really see flat files used that often anymore unless they came from the mainframe or they're pulling data from the database to send someplace else. But still, there again is a database. So yeah, make sure you know SQL. You can learn it for free. You don't need a certificate. Now, how are you going to learn it? I would suggest you use one of my favorite sites, W3 Schools. I should become an affiliate or something, right? I should get something for mentioning them. But they are one of my favorite sites, and they have a lot of different technologies there that you can learn for free. When I first started using it, they had 3 or 4, but they've got a whole bunch now. I just learned it to get familiar. I just used it rather to get familiar with Python as well. So go there, learn SQL, focus on the select statement and the clauses, and then put that on your resume. If nothing else, put it down as a tool. All right, that's it. That's all I have for you. That's my advice for today. Know SQL. Like the video, follow the channel, share the video, and come back again when we will continue to talk tech. Bye.